What's up, everybody? Who's ready to get a little bit better? If so, say yes. You should comment yes if you want to. Woo! Okay, here we go. Man, I am full. I'm just overflowing, excited to keep bringing value to you guys. And one of the things that I have to do so that I can continue to serve you at a higher level is I've always got to be growing. I've got to be learning and growing and stretching and challenging myself and leveling up the way I lead, the way I grow my business, the way I create systems, all the things. I can't get stagnant, just like you can't get stagnant. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is something I've been there and done that. Just like all of you, if you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure all of you. Has anybody ever felt overwhelmed? Has anybody felt stressed out, overwhelmed? Too much, in over my head? I don't care what you say, like, freak it out. Who's felt the overwhelm? I believe we have all felt the overwhelm. So the question is, how do we break through overwhelm? Because it's a ceiling you're going to bump up against. Because if you're doing, building your business, leading your people, and then you start to feel overwhelmed, it's a ceiling. And if you can't get through the overwhelm, you're not going to be able to achieve the level that you want to achieve, grow in the way you want to expand the way you want to expand, to increase your revenue, increase your influence, whatever. You're going to hit a ceiling. And when you're living in an overwhelm, we all know we're not effective in that place, right? So how do we break through the ceiling of overwhelm? By the way, there's several different ceilings you can hit. Overwhelm is just one of them. So I'm just going to talk about one of them. So one ceiling you can hit is overwhelm. How do you break through overwhelm? Simple. You delegate. Oh my gosh, this is rocket science. So I was talking about like I have to keep growing and growing. And so this week I had the opportunity to be in my first EOS focus day. Amazing EOS implementer. My friend Ryan Henry, genius. Love the guy. He's been doing the work for 14 years. Got another really good friend, John Fox, who's local here with me, who's an amazing, awesome EOS implementer. EOS is the entrepreneurial operating system. If you're not familiar with it, go get the book Traction by Gino Wickham. You can thank me later, okay? Because if you are a small business owner and you have aspirations, desires, vision to scale, to grow, some of you literally, you're going to read this book and like, oh, that was the missing piece, like many people. And so I read the book and it's been game-changing, just some of the mindsets and mentalities in the book. But finally, I pulled the trigger because we're just at that place where we're going places that if we don't have the right structure and systems in place, we're not going to get there. And so going into the day, I'm just going to tell you, I was not prepared to be wowed by, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. In fact, I was not wowed. Like, I knew that there is a simplicity. There's certain systems, processes, principles, structure that my company requires. And I knew it wasn't rocket science. I knew it wasn't going to be like, oh, I never thought of that. But the way EOS brings it together and having someone coach you through, listen, I am smoking what I'm selling. Sorry if you don't like the expression, but I believe in coaching. And so I got a coach to help implement this in my life. And one of the simple things he talked about was if you want to break through that ceiling of overwhelm, you've got to learn to delegate. And I could give you several different tools. I'm just going to give you one to help you locate yourself. And this little tool like helps you realize this is why I'm feeling the overwhelm. And it's just a real simple way. So 4 quadrants, delegate to elevate is a little language they put around this. And so again, this is an EOS tool. This is not original to Marquine, but this could set you free. So 4 quadrants. Quadrant number 1, you are great at this and you love this. You're great at it and you love it. Quadrant number 2, you are good at this and you like it. You're good at it, but you're not crazy about it. You don't love it. You just like it. Quadrant number 3, you are good at it and you hate it. You hate it. Like you're good at it. You could do it. You're better than some people. You even got some people on your team. They suck at it. You're good at it, but you hate it. And so this is what you need to delegate. And then the last quadrant, you guys see it coming. You are not good. That says God. You're not God either, by the way. You're not good, and you don't like. I guess that should be hate, but you get the idea. So 4 quadrants. So here's what you do. Start the process. I want you to just write out on a piece of paper, what am I responsible for? What am I responsible for in my business? Now, I am talking specifically to business owners. However, you can apply this if you are the CEO of your home. You can totally apply this. You can apply this in a lot of areas of your life, but let's talk business, home. Those two, I'm going to talk about business. What are you responsible for? And I just want you to start writing it down. I'm responsible for this, I'm responsible for this. Don't think about it, just don't filter it. Just what am I responsible for? And start write. Start writing. What am I responsible for? What do I got to make sure this gets done. I got to make sure that gets done. This and that and this and that. Like just write it down. Don't filter it. You're going to do this after you listen to this. Write everything down you're responsible for. So step 1, write it all the things that you are responsible for. Now, step 2, you need to fit everything you wrote down, and there's going to be some other things that probably come to mind as you start putting it into the quadrants. Put it into the quadrants. What on that list are you great at and you love? Like, man, this is easy for me. But I've talked about this on many times in different videos. You've got to pay attention to what is easy for you, but hard for everybody else. And those things are going to be in this category. You're great at it and you love it. I mean, can it get any better than that? You're great at it and you love it. And then what goes into that second quadrant? You're good at it, pretty good, not great, but you're good. And you like it okay, but it's not your absolute sweet spot. It doesn't completely drain you, but it doesn't fully energize you. See, everything above this line, this stuff is going to energize you. Over here, massive energy. Over here, a little bit of energy, but at least it's not draining you in this quadrant. So you're good at it, and you like it okay, but it's not your absolute sweet spot. This stuff over here, this is your unique ability. This is your X factor. This is your sweet spot. Like, if I could do this all day, I would be gloriously happy, okay? Then, this is where you start to face reality. You know, I say this all the time. The quickest way to change is to face reality. As long as something is denied, it can't be changed. And so you've got to be able to face reality. And this exercise is aimed at helping you face reality. Some of you are overwhelmed and you're not able to articulate why. And you're going to do this exercise and you're going to get to the things I'm good at and I hate. And you're going to be like, oh, I really hate that. Like, I can manage the books, but I'm good at it, but I kind of hate it. Some of you are going to be like, well, I can manage my email, but I kind of despise my email. I kind of get grumpy every time I open it up. I can schedule, but like, do I like to schedule my people? And so you're going to face reality. What is on that list of your responsibilities that you're good at, but you kind of hate it? And then some of you, the ones of you that when I say, are you overwhelmed? You're like, look up a dictionary and my picture is next to the word overwhelmed. Like, I am the personification of overwhelm. And if you're in that place, it's because you're living in this quadrant. You're not good at it and you hate it. And you've got too many tasks that are on your list that you're not good at and you don't like it, you hate it. And if you're, because these things are energizing, these things are draining. These are like leeches on your soul, sucking the life out of you, the joy, the fulfillment, the satisfaction. If you are living below this line in those 2 quadrants, if you don't do something about it, you are going to die in overwhelm. Now, I'm not a doomsdayer. I'm not I'm a positive person. I mean, you guys know me. I love you. I'm trying to help you have the courage to face reality, because if you don't face reality, and by the way, if you do this exercise and you lie to yourself and you don't put the stuff down here that actually should be down here, you're just setting yourself up for more overwhelm, perpetuating the cycle. You've got to use an exercise like this to face reality. Now, once you do this, you're going to start to realize there are some things that if I'm ever going to elevate my life, I must delegate some responsibilities. And so you're going to have to get rid of these things down here. I'll tell you, I'll share my own version of this story to hopefully give you a spark of hope. 2.5 years ago, if I did this exercise, I would have had a lot. 5 years ago, probably 3/4 of the things that I was doing on a daily basis, like, because there was things that had to get done. Like, I feel you. I know where you're living, okay? And I had to do things I'm good at. I don't love it. And I had to do things, man, I'm not good at this, but it has to get done. And I lived there. 2.5 years ago, I probably was maybe 50-50. When I did this exercise this week, I might get emotional. Guys, like, there was like 2 things below the line that I was fully aware of and already navigating to get them completely off my plate very quickly. Everything else, you know what quadrant I have the most things on? This box over here, because I have surrounded myself with people. One of the biggest keys for some of you that need to do some delegation, you're going to hire an assistant. And I hired an assistant two years ago. Actually, 3 years ago. I hired the first one. 2 years ago, I got the right one. The one that was going to be able to stick long term. The first one was great, but like 2 years ago, and my life has been radically transformed because I got somebody around me that I could delegate things to. Some of you are going to hire an assistant. By the way, like, there are so many ways to hire an assistant that is accessible and not expensive or excessive for where you're at. You can get help easier than you think. It's not as hard as you think. And so some of you are going to hire an assistant. Some of you are just going to start saying no to people on your team when they come to you and they say, hey, I need help with this, or hey, could you do this? And you're going to be like, no, that's your job, not mine. Oh my goodness. Yes, you're going to say no. And that they need to hear the no. Do you know what you need to hear every time they come to you? Or every time something needs to get done and you're like, well, I can just do it. It's going to be easier if I do it. Do you know what you need to hear? A little voice in your head saying to you, stop it! That's what you, stop trying to control it all. Stop trying to do it all. Because if you keep doing it all, they're never going to step up. You've got to say, no, I'm not going to do your job for you, and say to yourself, stop trying to do everybody's work. Stop trying to control it all. That's just a couple small things, but you've got to learn to delegate. You need some of the things you're going to delay the work because you just can't do it right now. Some of the things you're going to delegate to other people. Some of the things you are going to destroy. You're going to eradicate it from your list. It doesn't even need done, but you just thought it had to be done. And so you're going to be able to start filtering through. So face reality. Quickest way to change is to face reality. Use this exercise to face reality, and then do what it takes to begin to delegate, to take back your power and take back your schedule and your time so that you can lead at the level you were called to lead, to have joy, to get into that quadrant of what is great, what you're great at, and what you love. I want you to do things that energize you, but if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, we all know that is the definition of insanity. So I hope facing reality kind of sucks sometimes, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm not sorry, because facing reality is the first step. When you face reality, then you can begin to facilitate change in your life. And I hope you have the courage and the guts to do it for yourself. Delegate to elevate your life, your quality of life, your impact, your influence. I love you guys. I hope this served you. This is where you should get off this video right now. And you should go out there and give your greatness to the world, because somebody needs what's on the inside of you. Don't hold it back. And by the way, if you don't delegate, you're going to hold it back. So delegate. Don't hold it back. Go give it away to everybody else. I love you. Have a great week.